talk about what you're making today?
I am going to, oh yes, I'm going to make a peach cobbler today. I'm gonna make a peach cobbler today. My pan is hot. Ooh. I'm making a fresh peach, I'm sorry, I'm making a nectarine cobbler. And what I have is my fresh nectarines, and I'm dropping it in the bowl. And what I do, I make a no-fail cobbler, means that you cannot mess it up. What I have here is my sugar and my flour, and you mix that really well so you don't have any lumps. And then I have nutmeg. And with cobbler, you want to go, with cobblers, especially fruit cobblers, with peaches, you want to go heavier with the nutmeg. With apple and pear cobbler, you want to go heavier with the cinnamon. So I'm making a nectarine cobbler, which nobody has had before. Everybody's like, oh my God, is it going to be good? It's absolutely amazing.
That was my next question. You don't really think, when you think cobblers, you think peach or apple or blueberry. You don't really think nectarine.
Girl, when you have all the cobblers that you can make, there's so many different cobblers. And I'm telling you, peach is the most boring when you start experiencing cobblers. Peach, my kids, I can make peach cobbler, but my children prefer blackberry cobbler, pear cobbler, apple cobbler. I can make a sweet potato cobbler. So I just add all my stuff in here. What you're going to do is you're going to get this to a nice boil, and you want it to be like the texture of a good gravy or a nice clam chowder, really, because you want it to thicken.
The nectarines really, you let them get really, really kind of soft and mushy there?
No, you don't. You don't want them to get too firm, because this is a fresh peach, nectarine cobbler. If we were using frozen peaches, then we would let it cook a little bit more. But when we're doing fresh fruit, you want to make sure you don't overcook it, because you're going to put it in the oven and cook it there as well. And you want a nice firm fruit, but you want it tender as well. And
about how many minutes would you say it takes to get like that?
I'd say 12 to 15 minutes at the most.
Okay.
At the most. And then also what I do is I'm going to add a big old clump of, this is vegan butter, and this is a cashew, no, this is an olive oil vegan butter. And those are my two favorite vegan butters, is cashew and olive oil vegan butter. And all of this is going to just melt and get nice and thick. And then the last trick that we do, my grandmother gave me, is right before she puts anything in the oven, right on the stove, she drops in some fresh nutmeg. I put some already ground nutmeg in there, but I'm dropping some fresh nutmeg in there.
Does that give it just that extra little punch?
Girl, it gives it that extra bite when you taste it, because that spice is everything. It's all about the cobbler juice, and it's all about that spice, being able to taste that butter and that vanilla. I put my vanilla in here already, and this is going to cook for about 12 to 15 minutes until it starts thickening, and you're going to pour it in your pan. And I have an already prepared pie dish right here.
Okay.
And then the other thing that I do when I'm making my stripes, I make my stripes a little thicker. I make them a little wider than most people do. You see how wide that is? I make them like about a half inch thick. Yeah, and then, you know, you still get the experience of that cobbler, and it's almost not like not having to carry that heavy crust over there, because you want as much crust as possible. And you don't want to work that hard making all those little teeny tiny stripes.
And I was going to say, you know that's really what people also eat the cobbler for, is to get the crust and the flavor from it.
Yes. And some people say, just give me the crust, you know?
Right. And I have to do that. Sometimes when I eat a cobbler, I want that. That's the first thing I go for, the crust.
Exactly. And when we're preparing this, I'm going to do a mock of this really quick. But when we're preparing this, the other thing I do is I put an egg wash on it. And my egg wash is 1 egg with a little bit of water, maybe like a tablespoon of water. Mix it up really good, like this.
Okay.
You want to blend it really, really well. And this is going to give you that gloss, that bling. I call it the bling of cobbler. You know, that golden
shine.
That
so now, do you
shine.
put that over the top after you put the crust on? Is that what you do with the egg white covering?
Yeah, but you brush it on. I'm going to do a quick little demo of it for you.
To show us how to do that.
Yes. I have some cobbler mix already here.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
And I'm gonna move this out of the way, excuse me.
And bring that over so we can see that.
Yes, I'm gonna bring this over, drop this off.
And then again, so that, then you just put that, and then you're gonna put those pieces on top of there. And then show us how you do that, and then put the spread, and then brush the spread on, the egg white spread.
And I wanted you to see the consistency of my juice.
Okay.
See that juice?
Yes. So about that consistency. Again, like you said, that took about 12 to 15 minutes is what you cooked that.
Yes, and I mean literally. And it's a no-fail cobbler. You cannot mess it up. You can make it as sweet as you like.
That sounds good. So for a little sweeter, then obviously you put a little more sugar in there, and then other. But would you also put more of the other, I guess, other like nutmeg or other things in there as well if you want that?
If you can make it to your preference. That's what's great about this cobbler. We like a medium sweet. We don't like it too sweet in our family. Some people love sweet. You know, in the South, they
when
love
you think
sweet.
desserts, you do think sweet sometimes.
Right. You know, they put grits, sugar on their grits and all kind of stuff that we don't do.
And so now, and again though, that goes back to when we start talking about you put a twist on soul food though, because that's what you think of when you think of soul food. You think you're pouring sugar and everything on almost everything you eat, or like you said, a piece of meat into everything you eat. And now you're putting that glaze on there so it will have that shine.
Yes, and you're doing this, and it's water and a little bit of egg, and when it comes out, it's going to be so golden and so beautiful.
And how long, when you put that in the oven, how long does that cook? Okay.
You're gonna put it in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 45 minutes until you get the desired brownness that you like.
Okay.
But when you take it out, you want your cobbler to bubble a little bit. Right. And what's most important about this cobbler is you do want the liquid to be a little soupy, because as it's baking, it's going to thicken up as well. And this is the fresh cobbler one, but you can make this same recipe with canned peaches, with frozen peaches, which is what we use in the wintertime. We use frozen fruit, so it works absolutely perfect, any fruit you use. And you can use it with any kind of fruit. So, you know, we have a cobbler that I can't take credit for, but I love to make. We call it the Oakland cobbler. And what that is peaches and fresh plums and blackberries. And we do the same method. Good. Yes, girl, we drop that. We bake it and we drop it with a little bit of chantilly cream, which is a heavy whipped cream with a little bit of Grand Marnier in it. Takes it to another level.
Wow, that's another one. And that's the Oakland cobbler. Okay, I'm going to let you put that in and then show us what the finished product will look like.
Let me show you. I'm going to throw this in the oven. Yeah, let's do it.
And again, that will go into the oven for about 30 minutes.
30 to 35 minutes, 35 really. And then you'll look and see how it looks.
That looks absolutely delicious. I actually hate that you are not in person with me right now, Chef Rene, so that I can taste that.